Good day, everyone, and welcome to Obidient Family TV. The program is Hope Alive. Yes, there is hope in Nigeria, and of course, a new Nigeria is certainly possible. Now, good morning, afternoon, and evening, depending on your time zone. Once again, we are here to discuss what is happening in Nigeria. As credible oppositions, will bring you what happens in Nigeria. Of course, laying a critical analysis of the Chief Bola Tinubu's administration and what is going wrong in the country as we speak. It's no longer news coming out from different quarters, which is, of course, said to be verified from both Sahara reporters coming out from different platforms that Chief Bola Tinubu has spent 244 million on car tires in one day, despite the hardship in this country that is coming at this very hour. And the other one is the Federal Executive Council, which is also chaired by Chief Bola Tinubu, has stepped down the consideration and deliberation on the memo on the new minimum wage to allow Chief Bola Tinubu engage in more consultation with stakeholders, which we understand that today that the governors of the 36 states of the Federation are having meeting to decide the fate of the starvation wage that Nigerians are looking for. This is coming at this hour. You can see tires in one day, 244 million, also reported by Daily Trust. Well, we will also have you know what is happening across, outside of Nigeria, happening in Kenya, as the president of Kenya has come back to calm the nerves of Kenyans to say he's not signing, never signing that bill that is causing so much trouble in his country. That is President Ruto, who withdraws the deadly finance bill targeting his country in Kenya to pay his neo-colonial masters, that is the IMF and the World Bank. But he has come back to say he loves his country and he's not going to do that. That happened today. And many other things that we want to bring to you today. With me in the studio, Divine Dawns and the Peaceful Peace.
A very warm welcome, and once again, thank you for joining us on this live broadcast.
Good evening, fellow Obidient worldwide. Now, welcome.
All right, please, wherever you're watching us from, do like, share, subscribe so that other well-meaning Nigerian Obedients will know that the Obidient Family TV is live. Let's get this started very quickly. The issue of this very particular spending coming from Bola Tinubu is what we are going to first, share our own observations in the face of hardship in the country, where every family is crying right now, talking about not being able to do 2 meals, not talking about the one they call 3 square. It's no longer happening. 3 square doesn't happen anywhere in Nigeria again. So we have Nigerians who are reacting to this very report, and we are going to take that before we go to the segment on the people who are joining us on Zoom to have this discussion. Let's start with what the people that is trending right now about this very particular 244 million that Chief Tinubu spent on tires in one day. Let's take the one that is coming from Shehu Ghazali, of course, is here. He said, by the time Tinubu is done with Nigeria, there may not be Nigeria again. That is from Shehu Ghazali. Then we have another one from Daniel Rega, who says, spending 244 million on tires in a day is not enough. How about the car's windshield wipers? ₦1 billion should cover that so the drivers don't enter bush when it is raining. Hopeless government. Then we have Emma the machine, who said the person or people that got the contract for this tire contract of 244 million is not going to get up to 20 million to execute the real contract. Then don't use cutlass. Cut that 244 million. As the paper, they pass through different offices and people before it gets to the contractor. They don't cut and finish. Then we have this one from Omoya, who said all these funds the government wastes on non-essentials coupled with those they habitually embezzle or selfishly earmark for themselves, are enough to turn this country around for good if judiciously utilized. The truth needs to be told. The Nigerian government is being wasteful and disproportionately anti-people. We can go on and on. Of course, we have Abdurrahim Bello here who said that spending 244 million on tires just in a day, and this government will come to address the nation by telling us that we don't have money in Nigeria and start borrowing money, billions of dollars. I give up all hope in this government. Abdurrahim Bello, please don't get make you no lose hope. There is hope, and that's why we are hope alive here. Divine, we have seen it in one day. Now, I'm not against spending money in tire. I mean, if the tire wants out, it won't be driving. But the position is, which cars are they talking about? Is it the cars that don't go anywhere? Is it the cars that only goes to the airport and comes back? Which cars are they spending such money on in one day? I mean, the bottom line is one day. Spending money on tires, it shouldn't be an issue, but spending it in one day amid this. And again, if we check the tires that they are talking about right now, there's a reasonable probability that these tires are not worn out.
Well, first of all, I want to say, shout out to the company that took this up, this GovSpend, that happens to be an organization and a website that tracks, government expenditures. They're the reason why we have all this information. Because to be very honest, the people that are meant to be telling us how the spending goes on in the government, they're not doing their job. So shout out to these organizations for making it a point of duty to actually let Nigerians know how much our government is spending and how much of taxpayers' money they are spending on, irrelevant things, right? And so part of this particular investigation actually said that they did not specify the amount of tires. So basically, somebody just woke up one day and spent 244 million in different installments. Some of the companies they even sent this money to was not traced on the CAC website, which is the Corporate Affairs Commission. Basically, they are probably organizations, or rather companies that do not exist, or phony companies where people just used to siphon money. And so the details are very sketchy, but I think it's very sad. We've seen all the reactions coming online, what people have to say, but this is coming from this same government that said they wanted to implement Oronsaye's reports, basically trying to cut down the cost of governance. But we can see that, I remember when we had the conversation here and we said that it's just propaganda, because from the looks of it, they are not ready to implement that report or even cut down the excesses of government when it comes to financial mismanagement.
Oh yes, peaceful peace. As you say, your mother don't do me. Today we will do sharply. These tires where then they talk, we don't talk and say we will not be say we there against tire buying. In one day, 244 million. If it's what I'm sure, but waiting we there against and waiting would they look for be say that tire be like say it no go even one out. That's one where we say then go change them. And the people where we say then get this contract, if then there, I made them talk how much where we say they even get. You understand me? Yeah. Like one person where we say react, one side there talk say the person feel no even get 20M. But above all, we say hunger day. It gets some things where we say they're supposed to prioritize. You get some things where they're supposed to leave. Those motors, as far as they still the waka they go, they feel supposed to say that if na Peter because say then they manage that car they go. Go change that tire. You understand me? And if na one, they will say make them bring the spare one. Come sure I'm not be saying go take do her.
Yeah, actually that's where misplaced priority plays a vital role. You get, because these people now, as we all know, say APC na scam and they don't get the interest of the masses for heart. And it don't take way we don't talk about these people. No be say we don't know what they feed do, or we don't know what they get in mind for us. They never get good, good ambition or any good motive for Nigeria or anybody self. So all they do is for their stomach infrastructure. They just want to feed themselves, fly around. So how person go just spend that huge amount of money for just tire where say you go use and waka for road? Doesn't mean say the tire no go burst one day. It means say the tire no go, as in, I don't understand. So all these people, make we just know say they don't get any good intention for Nigeria. So they all this gather where they happen up and down. People they complain of hunger, just like you mentioned, say people know they eat 3 square meals. You get people where we say they know even they see at all, they shop, no need water. Even if say even that water self they scarce, no electricity, no light. If you didn't say they drink water, which electricity won't use or which light you won't use pump the water before you go drink. No money. People just they die of so many things.
Talking about the hardship in the country, and because of this, that's why it brings me to the issue of the stepping down of this very wage bill that Tinubu should have sent to the National Assembly. We don't talk on before, but we are going to say it again. The wage bill, Tinubu has stepped it down, meaning he is not looking at it right now. It is something that should have, he said on the 12th of this month on the Democracy Day that he's going to communicate to the National Assembly. Since that time, month on the end, he has not communicated. And what did they do? They have said what they call step down. Step down, they say they don't carry and come up for table. You know, they for Chibola Tinubu table again. And let's talk about the governors that said they are going to meet today. The governors of the 36 states today fixed an emergency meeting. Yesterday night they fixed the emergency meeting to meet today to resolve the issue regarding the proposed new minimum wage. If you remember, the governors rejected 62,000 naira proposed by the federal government, claiming that some states will have to borrow to pay salaries if the amount is implemented. But of course, we know that the organized labor insisted that it is 250,000 or nothing. Even labor themselves, will they wait for the meeting where they also hold today? So both the one for the governor and the one where they come out from this labor congress, we are waiting for them to show up because we need to know what is going on with that. And that tells me, let's now talk about what happened in Kenya. People in Nigeria mentioned this before. I mean, in the earlier program we held, I was very emphatic. I was emotional. Sorry about that. Because it gets to me why Nigerians cannot take action on certain things, especially when it deals with their own pockets. Because this is money that is going to go to their pocket. It's not money that is going to go to the government pocket. And still, they did not take action. They are depending on the NLC, on the 2UC to come out and talk on their behalf. And we've seen what is happening. Look at what happened in Kenya. Following a huge protest in Kenya, which led to, of course, some people lost their lives. And of course, that is coming from the Kenyan brutal police. But what we know that the president of Kenya has succumbed to that very blood sacrifice by the people after they broke into the parliament and attempted to bring it down. It is indeed a U-turn for the president of Kenya, who had earlier called the protesters lawless people. He is going to deal with using any means necessary. President Ruto turned around to call the protesters now the good people of Kenya, as well as austerity measures on the presidency and cabinet to reduce expenditure by the wealthful ruling class of the country. He says so many things. Whether this is a mere appeasement gesture, what can be seen is that the people's pressure has gotten the results. That's what I'm talking about, Divine. Right. The pressure has gotten them the result. And the man has mounted the pulpit and has made the announcement that he's not going ahead with it. As we know, it is the IMF, you understand, all those colonial masters that are making them do these things. But look at what triggered that thing in Kenya. Just about increasing the price of their bread, increasing the price of their essential needs, and they all came out and said it's not going to happen. And guess what? Their president came out and said, you know what? These are not lawless people. I'm not going to sign that very bill today. But look at in Nigeria. For the past 6 months, we have been talking about minimum wage for average Nigerian worker. Nobody. The one that they said that they had a strike did not last 24 hours. And what happened? They all went back. How can you get results? How can you get results? How do you pressure the government to give you what you want?
Well, you know, the people of Kenya have demonstrated a, superb amount of audacity and also, bravery, right? And kudos to them. And like I said earlier on this show we held, that I wish Nigerians could mirror the same, intentionality about their future and actually come out in masses, because at the end of the day, there's a saying that the voice of the people is the voice of God, right? And so if we can leave tribe aside, religious sentiments, tribal sentiments, and actually come out in one voice to actually demand for what it is that is, what Nigerians deserve, I don't think there's any force in, or any presidency or any power that eventually will be able to stop us. But you see, Nigeria is, we allow ourselves to be divided by, foolish sentiments. I use the word foolish because I think it's really is things like tribe, things like religion, and at the end of the day, we are all bearing, the brunt of all these decisions that we don't make, right? And so the people of Kenya have gotten what they want. This pressure that they mounted on the government has yielded fruits. That is basically to show Africans and every other person that the voice of the people is the voice of God. And if, as a country, Nigerians can eventually put every other, prejudice aside and come together as one to demand what is theirs, they are going to get everything done for them. Yes.
Well, the example of Kenya is what we are looking up to. It depends on what Nigerians want. If they are okay with 62,000 or even 30,000 naira, I mean, of course, we are good to go. But let us look at the good parts of the Kenyan and not the bad part, because of the people who are bereaved in Kenya today. Joining us to discuss this part of the segment on Zoom are well-meaning Nigerians and Obedients who are stakeholders on the Obidient Family TV. As you all know, let me give you a brief. Ruto is under extreme pressure from the then IMF and World Bank to pay back their loan. Yet the country faced economic hardship due to his poor policies like Tinubu. Most of the countries on the continent which have thrown in their faith with the non-colonial institutions are facing these same huge austerity measures. President Ruto made a recent celebratory entry into Washington at the invitation of the Biden administration, which had lately become a neo-colonial mouthpiece and a darling after the originally displaying fake Pan-African rhetoric at the onset of his presidency. We are talking about Ruto here. It was not to last, and Ruto's colors came out as a true neo-colonial agent. Ruto's government has further done the unthinkable by sending military troops to Haiti, where non-colonial United States of America, Canada, and France has destabilized the country for centuries. I can't go on and on. But of course, you guys who are in diaspora know these stories, and such are likely what is playing out at this very onset of Chief Bola Tinubu's administration as regards to IMF implementation and the loans that we take, the withdrawal of the oil subsidy, and now the hardship that is being faced in Nigeria. But the main topic is, why are Nigerians not taking action just like they did in Kenya to get Chief Bola Tinubu to hearken to their call for increase their salaries? To speak on this and the other things that were mentioned, we have Lord K, we have Chief Bassi, we have Ojitoni and the elder statesman. But let's start with Lord Kingsley. Lord Kingsley, please, let's get this started, and please, let's be brief so that we can quickly wrap this up.
Thank you very much, and good evening, everyone in the studio, fellow Zoom participants, and my fellow Nigerians as well. Good evening, and well done. It doesn't really surprise me anymore. It doesn't surprise me anymore what's going on in that country, Nigeria. Why? Because the people are letting it brew. The people are letting it brew. They are letting it happen. They are persevering. They are tightening their belts. And why the politicians are eating fat. They are eating, in abundance. This is a government now that, just today we found out that, yes, 244 million spent on just tires For which vehicle? Are these the SUVs they bought about 6 months ago that they are replacing the tires? Or are these government vehicles that have been in operation ever since? Which vehicles have they replaced the tires for 244 million? Who is going to ask them questions? Nobody. Nobody. We'll all discuss about it and then walk away. That is why they are doing more and more. Minimum wages that, people went out on the streets for 24 hours, for 1 day or so. Up till now, this is something that's been going on for the past 4-5 months. Nobody has done anything. It has been postponed. Up to today, nothing is done about it. Now the Senate, they're now having the guts to say they're stepping it down. They're stepping it down because they have more pressing issues to deal with, to buy private jets, to buy tires. That is where the problem lies. Because we, as Nigerians, we are not serious. We know what we want, but nobody wants to bear want to spare the whole show. Look at Kenya. See what happened in Kenya. But we call ourselves the giant of Africa. We call ourselves the number one. The citizens of Kenya, they have demanded, they fought for it, and they got it. What are we doing back home? What are we doing there? Nothing. We came out once for NSAS because of that scare. Nobody wants to do it again. Nobody wants to go out. You have to sacrifice. You have to sacrifice. So, quitters never win, and a winner never quits.
I'm starting to now.
So, gentlemen and ladies, if we want something, go for it. If you want something, go for it. Look at the president of Kenya now. He has turned the table because he has seen that, yes, these boys, these girls, they know what they want. They want it, and it's now. They want it now. They never defaulted. They planned this thing for a whole week, and they carried it out step by step. Gentlemen and ladies, let's be serious with what we want, and let's face it. What the labor, the NLC, whatever they are facing, or whatever they are doing, they need to tighten up and get things done. If they are failing, then the citizens take it to their hands. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's take Mr. Basi. Basi, my question will be coming. Kenya's example has demonstrated that the African people can not only be mobilized to resist these neo-colonial parasitic and exploitative schemes, but also to unify the continent, the lessons.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Kanu. Good evening, everybody, both at the studio and listeners. Kenyans have just proven to Nigerians that what we could not do during NSAS and 2023 election, they can do it. They helped Nigerian, I think that they showed Nigerian how to become citizen, what citizens is all about. Even though I don't like the violent nature that protest went, but at least they were able to send a clear message to the president that the office of the citizen is much more important than that of the leaders or the president. And you could see that it all started by them demanding for the withdrawal of the bill, the finance bill. And even when the legislators have passed the second reading, almost to go to the third reading and then sent to the president, they were able to make a case, and then the president heard. He knew danger was coming, was looming. today, he came out to address the people and assure them that the bill will be stepped down. That is how citizens should respond when government come out with unpopular policies that is detriment to the well-being of the citizen. But here in Nigeria, we are, I don't know whether we are too scared or we are too afraid or we have been boxed into a corner that we have lost our voices. We have lost our identity as citizens. So I would ask Nigerians to take example from what the Kenyans have done. We saw it earlier on in the year in Senegal, and today we have seen it in Kenya. Then we have a duty to ensure that we don't allow our rulers to run this country aground and then put this country in a state that is unsalvageable. We cannot salvage anymore. So let us take example from that. And then I'll go back to the issue of the minimum wage. When I saw the expenditure that came out for the tires, I just laughed. It doesn't surprise me anymore because I know what this government can do. They are out to loot. They are out to ruin the trade, to ruin the nation. They are out to ensure that people are continually impoverished while they are enjoying their luxury in their castle, in their mansions. How much tire does it cost? How much does it cost to buy one tire? I keep asking myself, are they buying the entire factory? Because 244 million, come on, it's just unthinkable. Meanwhile, this same government cannot approve a living wage for their citizens who are working. When it comes to issues that affect the citizens, they say they want to do further consultation. Who are they consulting with? How many people did they consult before they bought this tire? Nigerians, the choice is ours. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bassi. And there's some breaking out at this very hour is that there's a fire outbreak that is reported at Dangote refinery just before the scheduled July operations kickoff. Yes, this very video I just saw is circulating on X, formerly Twitter, which shows smoke that is blowing from the refinery, indicating a significant fire. Well, the cause of the fire is yet to be determined, and there are no reports on the extent of the damage or the quantity of property destroyed. Well, this incident we know comes shortly after the refinery announced a new start date for the supply of premium motor spirit, that is the PMS fuel, which was moved from June to mid-July. This is again going to be another excuse that they are going to give Nigerians, knowing fully well that Nigeria and the central bank invested heavily, or rather the elites invested heavily Nigerian money on those refineries, which they said is going to commence operations since a long time ago. Now this audio, where would they get from Nigeria and their government be that one? But this one, now Dangote. So we're sorry for the outbreak of fire what happened there, but Nigeria and the story where we go here again about that refinery and the rest of it. Well, coming to the next person who is going to help us speak on these very issues. But before I get to Tony Orji and Elder Statesman, let me quickly bring to your attention that Chief Bola Tinubu had addressed the Edo people. Do you call it the Edolites or whether na fake Edo people, I don't know. But because we know that obedience are Edo people are obedience. But now we have a congregation where Chief Bola Tinubu addressing them, telling them that he is going to give them Edo State, as in APC Edo State, acting as Let me quote, as we can see from the screen. He says, "As the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will give Edo to you." This is Chief Bola Tinubu tells the APC of Edo State for the election. It means that this very election has already been rigged, snatched, grabbed by the APC if care is not taken. But before I went to Elder Statesman Anthony, of course, we have a very strong, obedient Edo person with us, which is Lord Kingsley. Lord Kingsley, do you think that Tinubu emphasis on giving Edo to APC is a threat to the Edo people? What are your thoughts?
Absolutely. Now he has declared war. He has declared war in Edo State. Because how he's going to declare Edo State for APC is what I don't understand. What is his plan? Why does he want to do that? Because he has now told us indirectly that he has bought the INEC in Edo State election. He has done what he needs to do. They have planned the IREV, planned the thugs, people that are going to snatch, people that are going to run, and people that will drag everything. He has said all those things. No wonder ever since you don't see APC campaigning the way Labour is doing, or maybe the PDP are doing. They are depending on the federal minds, like I said last week. Now, Tinubu himself has come to, expose the whole plan. He has come to expose everything. He has now declared war in Edo State. He wants to unsettle that state, the heartbeat of the nation. He wants to unsettle that place. And we'll be ready. We'll be ready. In Edo State.
Okay, thank you very much on that.
In Edo State, they say, they say the stone that you see coming, it doesn't blind the man. So he has said it now. We are going to be ready. Thank you.
All right. We have this very thing. The person who just sent in a tweet on the screen who says that, "My Edo people, if you allow Tinubu steal your mandate on our own go worse past the current situation in Nigeria, protect your votes with your lives." Now that one they come out from Abdul Lozi, and they get many people where they react on this very issue. But make it not be say we just they talk waiting Chief Bola Tinubu no talk. Make we even listen how in take talk am.
You know me well. Yeah. You know I must share money well. We are still going to fight further. Don't worry, we are with you. You will not walk alone. Something I can show you is this. Do you want to go back? Yeah! As the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, I will give the door back to you. And then we turn to a beautiful, if not more beautiful than Lagos, will be equal to Lagos. Be assured of that.
So Tinubu has declared to Edo APC that invested in him as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that he is going to give Edo to APC. My question is Tinubu INEC? Is it Tinubu that is holding the mandate? Is Tinubu qualified to cast a vote in Edo State? Well, Tony Oji, an elder statesman. Let's start with Tony Oji. Can you please unmute and lend your voice to all these our discussions quickly, please?
Yeah, thank you, Kanu, and I greet everybody. I think I've said this before, that Nigeria is not a country. It's no longer a country. It's a place. It's a space, it's an environment where anything goes. anything goes.
Lawlessness.
I've said it also that Edo people should be prepared to make sure that this election coming up is not rigged. Oshumolu himself has said earlier that they're going to win, APC is going to win Edo State. And Tinubu has now confirmed it. So I plead with the Edo people. I'm glad to hear Lord K say they're ready. You have to be ready. I mean, this is a war. They are going to rig it. And once it's done, they say go to court. That's the end of it. So go fight for it, Edo people. On the other issues, I'm saying that Nigerians, we have a long way to go. People are scared, even when they're starving, to come out and demonstrate and show that they're not happy with what is going on in their country. Kenyan people showed courage. And remember, Ruto, the president, earlier said that the actions are treasonable. He said that earlier. Now, seeing the force of the people, he has succumbed. And like Farotimi said, Nigeria's turn is coming. It's inevitable. This thing cannot continue to go on the way it is. So it's just a matter of time. How can it be? How can it continue to go on like this? This is madness. This is pure madness. A government spending 244 million for tires. Is it for the whole ministries, vehicles, or for the whole agencies, parasitos, or what? They are just doing what they want to do, what they like to do. They don't give a damn what you guys think. Well, they have control of the paramilitary. They have control of the judiciary. So what can you do? The only option you have is to show strength and demonstrate that it is not, it's no longer a question of this policy or that policy. We are against this policy or that policy. It is total overhaul. Nigeria needs total overhaul. Call it restructuring, call it devolution of power, but nothing can work in this country again, rather except we have real federalism. Let's everybody go back to the 1963 Constitution. That's the only thing that will work. Develop according to your own pace. Not accumulating power at the center and loading it on everybody else, whichever way you want, because you're in control of the paramilitary. If you say something or do something they don't like, they come after you. So we are in a total mess. Elections here doesn't mean a thing no more. Nothing does. We are in trouble in this country called Nigeria.
All right, thank you.
Where can you start? Where can you go? That's the little I have for now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much on that. What you say resonates, but we also know that His Excellency Chief Mr. Peter Obi had always said that it's more of listening. He said leadership is about learning and listening to the people. But that is not what is happening over here. Nigerians will be lamenting. They keep talking about, every day they talk about how they went to the market. And it's just so pathetic that every day we sit down and we talk about the same thing. But all the same, His Excellency P2B also said that in one of the outings where he went to, the pharmaceutical board, and he told them he came there to listen, that leadership is about learning and then listening. Let's take a listen to His Excellency P2B as he joins the board of pharmaceuticals.
All listening protocols. When I'm listening to my revered Father Majesty lecture, I think he gave the keynote address. When I was telling the chairman when I came, I said, Chairman, I'm coming to learn, because leadership is about listening and learning. If you can't listen and learn, you shouldn't lead to a disaster. And whenever people say we did this right or wrong, I tell them because we're open to learning. And for me, today is about learning. I've learned a few things which is critical to whatever we're doing. But I thank all of you and everything. And I remember, I won't forget one word today that he mentioned when he talked about the great lecture and the issue of the armor. I now know and I believe in it and everything. For me, we're talking about access to quality medicines. We have to look at it from all the perspective of health. When you talk about development, today anywhere in the world, the most important measure of development is Human Development Index, HDI. It's the most important measure of development. Any other thing you're using to measure it is waste of time. And if you look at that, it's categorized into very high, medium, and low. And our dear country, Nigeria, is categorized under low. Even in this 25 years of experiment, we are still low.
That is His Excellency Peter Obi speaking with the pharmaceutical, joining the board of Pharmaceutical Society and talking about the leadership and the learning and listening, which are the attributes of a leader. To talk more about this, let's bring our own elder statesman Obode, who has been standing by, taking all we have been discussing all this while. Elder Obode, welcome to the show today. Please share with us what's your thoughts on all the different things that we have discussed about.
Good evening, all.
Good evening.
When you look at it, going back.
Good evening, Elder.
Good
Please
evening.
go on.
Good evening. Going back 2023, Emilocon. He said that, and he actually actualized it because he used all the drug money that he had to buy everybody. Then what else? What else? And nobody reacted to that. And the judiciary, they say, oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. Everybody else, APC. In fact, APC needs APC, because they have headaches. Nobody reacted to, the ordinary people didn't react to Tinubu, saying Emilocon, and, took out Mohammed, who is the president of INEC. He subverted the constitution, and he's still in there. He's still there, doing what it does best. Then we have this Lebanese Nigerian called Gilbert Chaguri, and he's dictating what is going on. his Bola Tinubu's business partner. So whatever, he bought planes, he supplies planes, and he actually took the contract from Lagos to Calabar coastal road, and nobody says anything to him. And this same Shaguri was acting with Abacha those days. So when you look at all these things, and nobody is doing anything, nobody is doing anything. What do you expect? What do you expect? There's I don't know if you anybody knows about the history of Ireland, Northern Ireland. The people who were the Irish original, they fought, they kept fighting, and today there's peace in, well, in inverted commas, in Northern Ireland, and they've gotten some what's it called? They know now that at some point, you know, the Northern Ireland will be able to join Southern Ireland. But it's dedication. And one thing in Nigeria is this, now my person, it doesn't endear anybody. We need to be Nigerians first, but we're not Nigerians first. Consequently, everybody is, you know, once somebody else does something, and you say, oh, it's from my place, you know, then you say, oh, just leave it. And I look at, when you talk about the ministers in the Nigerian government, you find that they're just people from the same area of Nigeria. What happened to effective leaders from different parts of the country? So when we are talking about these things from time to time, you find that Nigeria is not a country. It's not a country. We are hoping. We are hoping. Thank you.
Yeah, very hopeful, and that's why we are Hope Alive. And Hope I'll keep coming every day to talk about it, but still, the power still resides on the Nigerians. Whether it is in Edo, it is Edo people that will decide, and not Chief Bola Tinubu to decide what happens in Edo State. Well, let's take updates from the Obidient Family Cooperative Societies. For some few days now, we have been waiting to hear from what is going on across the LGAs on the Obidient family. And Mary Okon, who has been doing wonderfully well across Yala local government, is here with us today. Yesterday, of course, we've seen her showing live footages of her outreach, but today she's here with us. Mrs. Mary Okon, the president of Obidient Family Cooperative Society, Yala of Cross River State, you're welcome to Obidient Family TV on Hope Our Live program. Please talk to us about your members who are doing so well, and also other things that you wish to let us know. Good evening, welcome. Good evening, welcome.
Miss Mary.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Thank you. By His grace, nothing much to talk on. Obedient Family Yala, we are doing well and growing by the grace of God every day by day. And day before yesterday, we went for an outreach, and I was unable to join the meeting. Yesterday, same thing. Now, by the grace of God, we have gotten the total of exact 5,704 as member of the cooperative Yala. So that's so far that is how we have gone in Yala. We are fine.
Okay.
Let's
Yes.
us know that the members desire support for farming items such as fertilizers and seedlings because it is timely for them as a farming season before that season passes. And we are in the process of reaching out to the members of the Obidient family to see how they could be able to do some sort of fundraising to see how they could be able to raise some funds to support the cooperative, which of course will now relate to this. So I believe that's what is shown on the screen. So we also want to engage other stakeholders, as I spoke with you yesterday about some honorable members and the senators who are obedient to join to see how we can be able to raise funds to support your cooperative so that your cooperative could procure these items and support as a startup for your cooperative. As we know, this is the first time that your cooperative is just coming on after being registered. So it means they don't have the financial muscle or contributions as cooperatives to go into helping each other. And that's why you are bringing this up. Is that correct, Mrs. Mary?
Yes, very correct, sir.
So why not just take like 30 seconds to tell us more about this?
Good. That you just said it all, sir, because that is what they are expecting now. This is their farming season. Today is 26th or thereabouts. By next month, those that are farming rice will get into rice farming properly. From now, they have started tilling the ground and all that. So the work is ongoing by the grace of God. So if there will be any support, it should be from now till first week of next month by the grace of God. I think it will be useful to them.
Okay, so you are talking to the obedience in general, and you're talking to people who are listening to this program later on, and that's why I asked you to speak. Let them hear it directly from you on the support that you seek. But of course, it's being displayed on the screen for them to understand the needs that the Obidient Family Cooperative Society, Yala local government needs support, and as such, we are soliciting for every well-meaning Nigerian who wishes to see how cooperatives could grow. Recall that cooperatives is for businesses, for people to go into business of mutual benefit. However, this is their startup. They just got registered with their state government and may not even have the history of having a bank kind of arrangement. So let's see what we can do for them. They need fertilizers, they need herbicide chemicals, they need also seedlings. But let's focus on these fertilizers and the seedlings to support them. Even if it is one bag that one can contribute, even if it is one bag or half bag that one can contribute, please do not hesitate to support the cooperative, and not necessarily only Yala, but all the cooperative that we have registered, and hoping to register more of these cooperatives so that they have an entity to operate in their various local governments. Thank you, sir, Madam Mary Okon, for joining us today. And that is as much as we can take, as our time has exceeded the limit given by the production team. So until tomorrow, when we come back here to talk about all of this, bye for now.